Good morning, Mr. Patterson here. Week 5. First off, I wanted to, I know some of you have been concerned about the huge shift in the grade book of Canvas. And to make a long story short, this is the first semester we're using Canvas. And when I migrated some of the courseware from Blackboard to Canvas, it didn't migrate properly. And some of you discovered it before I did, as you could tell that some of your tests only had one question in them. And when I went back to fix it, that caused some problems. But I think I got everything fixed now. It was my error. I'm sorry to make you worry. But if there are any further discrepancies, please email me and I'll look into it right away. But I think everything looks good to me on my side of things. So hopefully they look good on your side of things. So let's get on with week 5. And I told you last week that for the preceding 3 weeks, we'd be working on our informative speeches and our informative outlines. And then, of course, this week, the second week of the 3, is delivering a presentation lesson. And what I wanted to point your attention to here is to make sure that you read chapter 12 of the ebook. And so let's take a look at, there was a lot more nuts and bolts in last week's lesson. This week's lesson is on delivering. So let's take a look what I think is important here, because a lot of times students get confused about the various types of speaking techniques. And you can see here methods of delivery. And I want to point your attention right here to extemporaneous. It's knowing the major ideas by using an outline, which is not an essay. It's an outline that serves as kind of a blueprint of your speech. You don't memorize the exact words, but you have a good outline. And then when you if you forget where you're at in your speech, you kind of glance down at your outline to remind yourself of what you're going to say, but you speak in an impromptu or extemporaneous manner. Now, I just kind of had one of those little moments where I forget what I say, so I'm going to glance down at my outline right now. And I wanted to remind you of a link that I have put on our Canvas page. And if you go to modules, you'll see at the top of the modules, there's delivering a presentation. And right here, I put in the information speech toolbox. This is something that is from me to you that I've designed, and it covers many of the major aspects of the structure of informative speaking, such as, and you can go into these yourself, the 4-part introduction. And you notice here, remember the 4-part introduction: attention, the thesis, credibility, and preview. And then I've left some samples from students here. The 5-point outline, which I've made a big deal of last week: introduction, body, conclusion. Moving on here, an attention getter, which I think is very important. And you can see here some of my notes on attention getter. Furthering on down, visual aids. Now, when you watch this visual aids video, it was made during another course. And so there may be some information that refers to Canvas, I'm sorry, Screencastify, as opposed to Canvas. And then next is, that y'all were doing in I don't know if I'm going to make it here. I have 5 seconds. The last thing